or anything, so we're not live. You're live.
We are live. No one's joined us yet.
No. Oh yes, they have. There's 6 people there.
6 people there.
Hello.
Good
Afternoon.
afternoon.
It is fairly fresh in here, so
Well, I got very wet on a walk around Trillisic, and so, no, just a husband. Put their leads on to them.
if you are joining us, if you wouldn't mind just popping in the comments who you are and where you're based, that would be lovely. So watching me.
Well, it was a lovely walk, but just at the end, the heavens opened.
Today it's been beautiful, and then downpour. Yes. Yeah.
So we were doing really well, and then we got really wet. So
yes, that's
No. All right.
from Ashford.
That's my umbrella in the corner. When I inevitably leave it here, you'll know that it's mine.
Right.
Very pretty umbrella.
Hello, Jackie from Ashford.
Hello.
Ashford in Kent.
Oh.
Have you been knitting much over Christmas? I've hardly picked up my needles.
I have. Ta-da.
Oh, yeah.
Finished it.
Oh,
that's
my
beautiful.
goodness, that's
Haven't
amazing.
haven't sewn in the ends yet.
That's papillon, isn't
That's
it?
papillon.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, we're closed.
Closed.
We're closed.
Closed.
And that's all done with short rows.
Short
Your
rows.
short row. What kind of short row is it?
German short rows.
Okay,
I did start off doing wrap and turns.
Oh,
I did.
okay.
Yeah,
I did-
people are starting to
I
say
did start off.
Nancy, from Michigan in the USA.
I did
Wow.
start off doing German short rows.
Yeah.
And then I
So
thought,
Zilla, you're
Just
from
stick with
windy
windy.
Lincolnshire.
well,
It's
we've got, so
windy.
it doesn't really
It's
matter.
windy here in Cornwall
Yep.
too, isn't it? And we've got Sue from Bradley Stoke in South Gloucestershire.
Oh.
Steph from where's that? Aarhus, Denmark.
Denmark. Lovely.
And Judith from Northampton. My husband bought me the pink kit for Christmas. Oh, that's
lovely.
nice.
That's a nice present.
It is amazing when it's so international. You
It is
see
lovely,
people
isn't
from
it?
all over the world.
Jackie,
Yeah.
you've already
Yeah.
made a start by the looks of it. So you've done 3 sections of
Oh,
the
wow.
cowl already.
That's half.
Wow.
The pattern was only released on Boxing Day. And we've got Caroline from Headcom Kent and Karen from a wet and windy Northampton. Yeah, it seems to be a theme. I think the weather
Yeah.
is grim.
Some from Massachusetts.
Olivia from Massachusetts.
Wow.
Jackie's definitely.
We're
Well,
global.
welcome, folks, and happy Twixmas,
Yeah.
I suppose. I'm Jane, for those of you that haven't met me before,
I'm Nicky from Comfort Road Knits.
who designed the pattern.
And I'm Fran.
Fran was on her last cowl, and Fran is going to be in charge of the Ravelry group,
Which I haven't set up yet. I'll do that
I've only
I'll
just
do that
asked
this
her.
evening.
She'll be setting that up this evening so that you can all share information on Ravelry, and we will be doing a prize at the end of it as well. So anybody that took part in our last cowl knows that our prizes are really nice prizes, and we tend to pick them based on the people that participate the most in both these events, but also the Ravelry group as well. So
And Instagram.
yeah, and Instagram. And I haven't. It's Stitches and Cream Cowl is the hashtag. So KAL at the end of Stitches and Cream. So if you are knitting this, please do tag us in that, and obviously we'll put it up as well as Comfort Road Knits, who's Nicky, who's designed the pattern. So
I'll set the Ravelry group up as Stitches and Cream, and then there will be a couple of tabs for the cowl. So we'll have one for ongoing, one for finished products and projects, and maybe one other. So we'll keep it to just 2 or 3 tabs.
the idea of all our Knitalongs is that it's a really supportive place for people to come, talk to each other, learn from each other, share knowledge and expertise. And if you are more on the sort of beginner end of the knitting, that you feel confident enough to ask questions, and you'll find a friendly response from everybody. And all of us here are here to help you through this. So if you've got any questions at all, let us know either on these live events or let us know when you through the Ravelry group as well, because if you're having a problem or you're not sure about something, you can bet that there's somebody
There's
else
gonna be
that's
somebody
exactly
else.
the same who just hasn't felt confident enough to
Yeah.
say it. So, you know, there's no rights or wrongs here. It's just about sort of encouraging people to have a go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Nicky, do you want to tell us a little bit about your... So this is the end design, and you'll see it's got a twist in it at the front or wherever you want to wear it. You don't have to have the twist, do you?
No, you can, yes, you twist it before you stitch it together.
Before you join it.
Yes, so you can choose not to do that and
Yeah.
just have a straight cowl, which I guess would just be that.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, it's totally optional.
Firstly, should we just explain your design inspiration, I suppose, and not the names necessarily, but how you came up with the design?
Well, I think in some ways I'm a very practical designer. I think that often it's about solving problems and trying to find things that are going to be fun and workable for people. And because I knew it was going to be for the cowl, I wanted to make something that was going to work for lots of different levels of people at different sort of stages in their knitting journey. And
the brief was to do a colourwork cowl.
Yes,
from me.
Yes, but I thought if it was all entirely colourwork, that could get a bit sort of hard work.
Intimidating for some people
yes.
as well.
So I wanted to put some plain sections in, and well, I wanted to put some lace in, but I thought lace can be quite tricky. So I thought, well, if I work out different patterns for each section, then people can pick what they want to do.
Lovely.
But all the options fit within the count. It's very important to say you don't have to work anything out.
That's very clever.
Yeah, you don't have to think, oh no, like, will it work? Because it will. I've checked every single one and it will.
What made me smile is when we were talking about it initially, the idea came from those books that you had as children, which were the fashion books where you had all the different options.
Yes, the choose your own adventure books. Yes, I've forgotten them. Yes, yeah.
The ones where you flip and make different outfits according to where you flip.
Yeah, I used to love those. Yeah, so that was the inspiration behind it. We wanted to make it a double knit one. The colourwork itself is fairly simple, isn't it? Because it's a two
maximum two colours per row, and no more than 3 stitches of the same colour. So I mean,
not having to carry it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about floats particularly, and just so, ladies, colourwork. I'm gonna ask you, Fran, first. What are your top tips for colourwork?
Top tips: make sure that you keep the stitches on your right hand needle really nicely spread out, because that keeps the colour that you're not using. When you come to use it, it will have the right length of strand. If you keep it all bunched up, you'll only have a little strand. So if you keep it nicely spread out on your right hand needle, knit at the tips of your needles as well, and then make sure it sizes properly. So on the barrel, just to keep your tension even. Decide which colour you want to pop the most, and that will be the colour that you carry underneath. So if you're trying it with both hands, it will be the colour that you hold in your left hand, and the background colour will be the one in your right hand. But if you're dropping and picking up all the time, then just make sure that you stay consistent, that one always comes from, if you like, the top, and one from the bottom, and that way you won't have it kind of phasing in and out. There's a lot of talk about colour dominance and how much it matters, and I haven't done any experiments to really trial it out, to be honest. The received wisdom is that you should.
I've never had a problem with colour dominance, and I don't use any particular system.
Al and Carlos kind of go, there isn't such a thing, just pick up how you like and just go with it. So don't worry about it too much. But if you're keen for it to be really consistent, always use your background color underneath or in your left hand. Your pop color in your left hand and coming from underneath, and your background colour in your right hand or coming over the top.
Yeah, because not everybody likes to knit with colours.
Yeah.
Some people knit sort of like continental knitting with one colour and English throw style with the other, and other people just can't do that, can they? And they use two fingers. The wrong side. Two fingers to actually control the two colours,
or drop in between,
or even drop in between. If you and anyway is fine. There's no right or wrong. Anything else you would add?
I use both hands. That's how I do it, and I on both of these. And as a general rule, use the very dark colour, which is the black or the very darkest colour in this hand, which is the less dominant one, because otherwise I find the dark colour can overpower.
That's a really good tip, because it will come forward. It's all to do with...
And the same on that, the dark colour as the less dominant colour.
Because it's all to do with the length of the strand, isn't it? So that stitch tends to be slightly looser.
Yeah.
But if you are new, it really doesn't matter. No. It really doesn't matter. Just drop your yarn in between each change. And just before we go on, I want to pick up some of these messages because loads of people are commenting. We've got Kay. Hello, Kay. Kay was on our retreat. You remember Kay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kay's joining us from Cardiff. Lovely to see you too, Kay. We've got Canada. We've got, so that's Anne. We've got Christine from Texas. Olivia said would love to be in Cornwall. Jackie, yes, what I'll do with the Instagram hashtag, I will put it in the notes when I publish the video afterwards, so it'll be on YouTube and I'll pop it in the notes because I can't add text as we're actually talking at the moment, but I will pop it in the notes and I will put up a post in the next day or so as well with it on, so watch out for it on Instagram. Sue, so for your North Yorkshire, Helen from Rutland, some sees Jane, isn't it? I think that's Jane. Is there a tip for not getting yarns twisted? And we've got Lynn from Michigan as well in the US. Lots of US.
Colourwork. Yeah. In Colourwork. I mean, I use both hands, so they don't tend to twist. But
and if you're consistent with always picking up from the bottom and top respectively, they shouldn't twist either. Because you're not catching.
No, with these, I keep one ball on either side.
Yeah, that's a good tip. That's a really good tip.
Yeah.
And if you do find they twist, because some people, if you're more inexperienced, sometimes they do. Yeah. Just every few stitches, just pause and just untwist them so that they don't get into a huge tangle. I mean, the colourwork sections are quite short, so hopefully it shouldn't sort of be too. It's not like doing a big section of colourwork where you're constantly because that's a pain in the neck. But these are quite short sort of sections of colourwork, so hopefully you'll be able to.
It won't be too bad if
just unravel it as you go. But
as I was doing it, with one ball, the dark ball on that side and the light ball on that side, and that seems to work out.
Yeah. As it's only two colours, it's not so bad. It's when you get into more than two, and then you've got two on that hand, one on this hand, for example, and it's sort of like, it gets a little bit more complicated.
And I think as well, when you have longer floats and then you are purposely twisting them, then you end up with unintentional twisting as well. Yeah. So with these short floats.
Hopefully with the short floats. Yeah. You knit it as a tube, so you knit it in the round, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So it's double thickness, so it's super cosy. I should probably show you the other colourway. That's
lovely.
That's the blue one for anybody that's bought the blue kit. And I'm always going the wrong way. I am knitting that one up, and this is Mrs. Moon Plump, which is super soft and cozy. So I'm really sort of enjoying that, and I think I chose the medium option for the lace.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So each.
Oh well, then we have that's the lace number 1. The easiest. You've got
2.
Yeah, and
that's lace number 3. Yeah. So they're all in different difficulties. You did have to use different needle sizes, didn't you, because of the gauge over different types of patterns?
Yes, I think generally most people knit tighter on colourwork than they don't necessarily knit tighter on cable, but cable pulls in by nature of being knits and pearls. The textured things I found to be the same as my standard knitting.
Fairly neutral.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then the lace is big.
Yep.
But,
so do you go? You went down a needle size or two
so
for the lace?
Yes, I picked that as my like middle one.
Yeah.
Then I went up a needle size for the colour work and the cable, and down a needle size for the
Okay,
lace.
so that's easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So we've got a question in here. So Alison, you're knitting from your stash. So just the note of the different quantities needed for each colour. It is in the pattern, but you're going to remember this, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. Do I remember off the top of my head? Well,
I've
actually,
got the pattern here.
It's worked out. I was thinking about the hat. It's actually worked out to use most of 50 grams of each colour.
Yeah.
Some of them you will have a little bit more left over, but it's between 40 and 50 on every colour.
Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, because I've not got the final.
It does
pattern.
say 50. The pattern says times 4 50-gram
yeah.
balls, because it's intentionally worked out so it's using most of each colour.
Yeah.
Even the dark one, even though there is no solidly dark section, the dark one appears the most in the colour work. So it's between 40 and 50 of each one.
Yeah, and we wanted it so that you wouldn't have a load of waste yarn as well at the end of it. So there's nothing worse, is there, than knitting something and then you break into a new skein. And that's why with the kits we tried to make sure that you only got what you needed rather than trying to sell you whole skeins.
I'll just point out, so with the colour work, there's not very much of the mustard, but the cable section is a little bit longer. So yeah, you are going to need most of what you have.
I hope that's answered your question, Alison. So 50 grams of all 4 of the colours, 1 dark one, 1 pop of colour, and 2 variants of the lighter colour.
Yeah, it says that the sample was in Devonia, and that was 233 meters, 100 grams in total when you put all the colours together. So if you reckon that you need, say, 230, 250 meters in total, that should do you.
Yeah. So hopefully that's answered the question. Nicky, we're getting questions about your...
No, you need half
Sorry?
100, and so the Devonia is 100 grams.
Oh, sorry, I was reading that wrong.
Yeah, so it's just 50 grams of each colour.
Yes,
okay,
so
I was reading that wrong.
117.
I haven't read through the pattern yet. So
117 meters per colour.
And Fran, you're going to be knitting this one, aren't you?
I guess we're knitting the grey and ochre one, yeah. Really looking forward to it.
So Nicky, we're getting questions about your hat.
Oh, well, yes.
So she couldn't resist going on and knitting additional accessories in the pattern. So
well, I thought, well, I've already worked out the colour work, so I might as well
just
get some use out of it.
So make the construction for the hat. So
yes.
Do you want to share a little bit about your hat?
I do, yes. So this is the Porthallow hat. I made it live on Ravelry earlier today, and just for us here right now, I have set up a discount code, which is Falmouthfree, and if you put that in, the hat will be free.
Wow!
So you need to get
that's
it
a nice
before
Twixmas present.
Wednesday of next week, because
yes.
that's when the code ends.
Yes.
But if you do purchase it as part of our Knitalong, it's a giveaway with the Knitalong, and you get the free pattern for the hat.
Yes, so Falmouthfree. There we go.
Isn't that exciting?
That's really nice.
Do you want to say what yarn you used in terms of quantity?
Oh yes, it's well, the sample is the John Arbor, the same as this, the Devonia, and you need around 50 grams, well, 50 grams maximum of the main colour,
which is the grey.
Yeah, I think 20 maximum of the cream colour. I believe I'll have to check the pattern.
Probably got it somewhere. I haven't got my phone on it.
Yes.
I'll go and get it. I should be 2 seconds.
Yes, I'm afraid. And 6 of the very little one. So yes.
Really pops though. It's amazing how one little scrap of yarn can make such a difference, isn't it?
And I think people might find you will definitely need more of your main yarn colour,
For sure.
but you might well find that you have enough left over from the cow of the and possibly of the cream as well, depending on how you may gauge. So yes.
And is it sort of a fairly simple design in terms of the actual hat construction?
Oh yes, it's
I've got it here.
The pattern has an option for just a single rib or a double rib. There's 3 different sizes. It's charted. Yeah.
Nice.
So you said you used 117 meters for the main colour.
Yep.
45 meters for the yellow, the Cinder Glow, the pop colour. 23 meters of the cream.
No, Cinder Glow is the dark one.
Oh yes, beg your pardon. Cinder Glow is the black. Beg your
Yeah.
pardon. Cinder Glow is the black. So 45 meters of the dark colour, 23 meters of the cream, and 14 meters of the gold.
Yes.
So you can really make this out of scraps.
Yeah.
So it's a great scrap buster.
Yeah, you could mix and match makes, couldn't you? And if you didn't have enough DK, you could hold 2 light fingerings together, and kind of.
We will make up some kits as well that potentially go with the cowl. If people are interested, just let me know, and we can make up some kits with the right amount of yarn in them as well. If you did want to make them to match your cowl and you've chosen one of our options, just let me know, and then over the next couple of days we'll put together some kits.
And I was just going to say, I actually took a little while thinking about making the grey, because it could be any of the colours you could use as the main yarn colour. So you could just as easily have the mustard as the top and bottom colour.
And do you want to show what else you've been working on then?
Oh, well,
because you didn't stop there.
There's more.
This is not very far in production, but I thought, well, I might as well, yes.
So you could have the whole kit.
Yes, yeah.
You can be very coordinated.
Yes. They're not, not terribly far in the production process, and I'm actually going to reknit them because I think they're just a tad tight. They need one more repeat of the pattern in there, and they'll have ribbing, matching ribbing at the bottom, and then a bit of ribbing.
So they'll be fingerless mittens.
Yes, and they've got a
thumb gusset, nice.
Yes.
It makes it much more comfortable when you've got a gusset.
Yeah, because otherwise you feel like your hand's a bit restricted.
I really hummed and hawed because it's so much easier to knit with that. But I thought, but I have a thumb, it needs somewhere to go. So yes, they're coming along.
So why Porthallow? Why the name?
Well, actually, it was the first thing that jumped on my mind when I was thinking about a name, because I mean, as you all both know, Porthallow is a place down here, a very pretty little sort of fishing village. Well, pretty, but not still a sort of a working place.
It's a working.
Yes. But whenever I go there, or more specifically come home, I seem to take a different route every time, like every single time. And it's insane because there's only 2 roads out of the village, like one to St. Kevin and one the other way. Whichever road I take,
you land up a different route.
A different route every single time. And then I pop back out near Helston and I go, oh, here I am. Oh, I've made it. But I just drive along and I'm like, oh, daffodils filled with sheep. And then I'm like, oh, I made it. And it just sort of made me think of, a different route every time, but you get there in the end.
That's really nice.
So that's where the name comes. And the name has only come to light for me anyway recently in the last.
I know. I only officially named it, but it was what popped into my head when I first started thinking about it. So
having the twist makes it sit really nicely on your neck, doesn't it?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, it was Jane that suggested the twist because you like a twist.
I do. Well, sometimes I think particularly if they're double thickness like this,
they can be a bit
sit
tricky,
a bit too sort of like proud up on them. And I've not got the longest of necks, and I'd be like, and also you get makeup and things on it.
And they can be, if you're at all sensitive, that's one of the most sensitive bits of skin, isn't it? Just kind of round that part of your neck can be a bit prone to being a bit itchy.
Oh, we've got Vancouver Island as well.
Vancouver.
Kathy.
Vancouver Island.
Goodness me. are there any sort of technical questions about the construction from anybody that you could either do with a video support or us talking through how you would do that? Has anybody got any questions? That if you have got the pattern, if you haven't got the pattern, it's on Ravelry now. If you are purchasing the Cowl pattern, if you put in the words Falmouth with a capital F, you will get 25% off. Currently, if you don't like Ravelry, we do have it for sale on our website, and obviously we'll give Nicky the money for it as the designer. And as you said, the hat is also live now. So go onto Ravelry and look for Comfort Road Knit or Port Fallow, and you will find both patterns there. And you can use the free code for the hat pattern. But at the moment, I can't see anybody's got any particular questions for you. Anything else that we can think of in terms of telling the customers
how you work them out? That would be interesting.
Yeah. We talked about this a bit before, but I have a huge stash of samples that I've knit here, and I knit every single option because I wanted to make sure that everything works.
It might be useful to show people those options actually. So lace options, we showed you it very briefly. So if we start with simplest, medium, and then the more intricate pattern.
And then these are the textured ones. I believe that is a
that's nice.
Just a sort of knit pearl diamond combination. That is E, which is also just a knit pearl, and that's this was in the book,
the Gansey book.
Yes,
wasn't it?
and it's a traditional Gansey stitch that was in the museum you visited.
Yes. Was it the
Pop?
Yeah, but is it the Popero stitch?
Yeah. Well, I think it's in the book as a traditional stitch from there. I think it's Northcott, and then in brackets it said.
This is the frock coat.
Yes. Yeah. And then that stitch, I think if you see that, it's not basket weave, it's a sort of knit into the stitch below.
Oh, you
and
can
it
see
creates,
it's got a little
it creates like a little tiny
that's sweet.
like bow.
Yeah.
It's quite subtle, but it's sweet, I think.
Yeah,
really I haven't decided which one of the texture. I might go for that one because it's probably a newish stitch for me, and I'm quite intrigued to see what that looks like.
Yeah, it's quite sweet, I think.
Yeah.
And then
the cables.
And then the cables.
So what's the easiest?
Ooh.
Easiest?
I think that's, yes.
So easiest, very simple. How is it 2 by 2? Can't remember now.
Yes, 2 over 2, yes.
So if you haven't done cables before, you can do ones without a cable needle.
You can, yes.
I'll put some links. I'll do a tips and tricks thing like we did for the other cowl, and links to various videos and whatever.
Yeah, because somebody's sort of mentioned about the provisional cast on here. They used a crochet hook and needle. Hope it works.
Yes, I mean that will absolutely work, and that is a way of doing a provisional cast on. I just cast on to waste yarn and then start knitting in my main yarn because I think it's easier and you don't have to learn a new provisional cast on technique.
I use Judy's Magic cast on and leave it on the cable, and then come back and I've got live stitches all nice and secure. If you've got interchangeable needles, you can just put it on a short cable.
Do you want to explain the reason why you chose a provisional cast on for the pattern?
Well, yes. That was so that
and then we come back to the cables.
That you can graft using what's often known as Kitchener stitch. The two ends, so where you finish up and
where is the join?
I think it's there. You can see it a bit because you're changing from the knit pearls of the cable into the plain knit of the Colorwork, but I don't think you can see it too much. Yes, so that you can graft the live stitches you've just finished and pick up the live stitches from the cast on, graft them together, and end up with this wonderful smooth tube with no apparent beginning or end.
It's magic.
Yes.
So going back to the cables, that was the easiest, as I mentioned. This is the medium difficulty one.
I'm not 100%. I think that might be the easiest. Even though it looks more complicated, it's actually only 1 over 1.
Is it?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's only
it's
one
not-
over one.
Oh, right, okay.
Rib.
I would say there's not much difference.
No,
in
there's hard. I
difficulty with
hummed and
those two.
hard, and then that's 2 over 2. So that may be a little bit trickier.
But this is definitely
That's the
trickier.
trickier one.
That's a nice one.
So this one here,
That's a beautiful cable pattern.
it's a lovely cable pattern, but you will have to concentrate on
You
it. I think.
will have to concentrate a little bit. But
A little
yeah.
bit, I think, quite a bit, but it's not long. Doesn't take
No,
in
it's
terms
nice.
of the beauty of this cowl and doing a cowl obviously is it's not going to take you
No.
a really long time to do, hopefully, because it's quite a small project. But saying that, there is no race, and you go at your pace. What do they call it? Embrace your pace.
Embrace your pace, I like that.
Exactly.
Just because knitting is there to be enjoyed.
Yes.
And you will see people, particularly if you do join the Ravelry group or look at Instagram tags, you will see people that will race ahead and finish really quickly. But don't be intimidated by that, because some people have more time to knit. Some people are just quicker knitters. And some people just, when they start a project, really like to get it finished as quickly as possible. And then others just like to pick it up now and again and just do it at
And
their own
if
pace.
you're a monogamous knitter, you're only knitting one thing, you're going to get it finished more quickly than somebody who has lots of other crafty things that they like to do. So, you know.
I think I'm a bit of a compulsive knitter. Once I've started something, I'm like, the end is in sight.
Good.
But I think I would actually enjoy it more if
If
I
you-
was able to like be less sort of got to get to the
Focused.
end, got to get to the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've actually, for the first time ever, I've ripped out something that I'm knitting because I really didn't enjoy it.
Oh,
Really, you just kind of went through it and kind
Yeah,
of, this
that-
isn't working for me.
Anybody that's watched my YouTube channel will know I was knitting the Williams sweater, which it was a cable that was across.
yeah, I know.
The pattern was awful to follow. I found it awful. Probably just my thought processes. Other people
Yes.
probably find it easier, but it was just too spread out. And as I was knitting it, I was just like,
Getting
I'm
frustrated.
hating this. I'm
Yeah.
really hating
It's
this.
quite a big jumper in a way, and you're quite a petite build. So I wonder if it could have ended up being a bit.
It would have been huge on me.
Yeah.
Even if it was an art gauge, it would have been.
Yeah.
It would have swamped me. It partly was that, but it was because I'd ripped it out so many times, and every time I went back to it, I was like, and I thought, actually, even though I knit for the shop, I'm meant to enjoy it,
Yeah.
and I very, very rarely give up on a project.
But that one,
But that one, I was just like, no,
But-
it's coming out.
but you shouldn't. I don't think you should ever feel guilty about that, because I think it's if your instinct is kind of saying, one, I'm not enjoying it. The likelihood is, unless you're knitting it for somebody else, if you didn't enjoy making it, you won't
Yes.
want to wear it,
Yeah, that's
because
so true.
you'll have grudgy feelings
Yes.
against it.
I think
Yeah.
it would have gone in the naughty corner for ages.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go back to some of the questions. The provisional cast on. Will you go through provisional cast on, as I haven't done it before? Fran is going to put some. If you can go on Ravelry, once the group is set up, she will put some links in.
Yeah.
If not, Nicky, would you be able to create us a little video?
Yes. Yep.
For
Yes,
provisional
absolutely.
cast on?
But the thing I would say is the method I have used and that is in the pattern. I mean, I'm calling it a provisional cast on, but it isn't really. You just start knitting in waste yarn.
Yeah.
In what you cast on via whatever method you like, long tail,
That's
cable
a nice
cast
way of
on,
doing it.
whatever you like. You just knit 4 rows in your
Mm.
waste yarn, and then you drop your waste yarn and pick up your main yarn and start knitting. So there's no new skills to learn, and you go back at the end and pick up the live stitches. And I have made a video of myself doing that, left and right-handed. So you
Wow.
just pick up the live stitches, rip out the waste yarn, and then you've got it. So there shouldn't be anything new to learn.
Right, okay. So hopefully that reassures you in terms of the fact that you don't have to sort of learn anything. But if you do get confused, come back to us and we can always sort of do a little bit. We can talk about that a little bit further.
Yeah.
So Steph has asked, would like to knit from stash? What kind of yarn would you recommend? Is a toothy yarn better for colour work rather than, for example, a merino wool? I don't think so in this case.
No, I don't think. I mean, you're not going to be steeking it or anything, so
No.
I wouldn't worry too much. I think either would be fine.
I think one of the important things to consider is because it's next to
that's
your
true.
neck, it's
Yeah.
what's comfortable on
Yeah.
your neck. Merinos tends to stretch because it's super wash fibre and those sort of catchy bits have been stripped off through the superwash process. However, for a cowl, it doesn't matter so much. So I would say if you've got some yarn that you want to use in your stash, it doesn't matter. What I wouldn't do probably is mix the fibres too much in terms of something that's toothy with something that's superwash. So either go for non-superwash or superwash. Is probably my only recommendation, and it's double knit. Or you could use 2 strands of 4 ply together if you wanted to create a double knit pattern.
And if you went up a size, you could do it worsted. Just work out bigger,
a little bit bigger. Yes. And if you were concerned about it becoming too long, you could just knit a bit less of one of the. I mean, if anyone does that and then they have any questions, they can mention it in the Ravelry group, and I can advise.
Right, so we've got a few more questions here. Okay. So you're just finishing your Arissaman. Well done for persevering and finishing. I love mine. I'm really happy with mine. So I'm hoping you're happy with yours too. Nancy, this pattern is delightful, especially with being able to pick up and choose sections to knit based on what level I feel comfortable. Lace and I don't mix well. I would say that it doesn't with me always either. It's the yarn over bits. It's because I lose focus. I'm like doing, my head's probably going at a million miles an hour on other things, and then I think, oh goodness me, I've forgotten that bit.
I'll put a link in how to pick up if you've missed one on a row as well.
And lifelines work as well with lace. So just pick whichever level suits you, Nancy, I would say. Catherine, you're looking forward to getting started. Helen, brilliant, thanks. Why 4 rows for provisional cast on?
Oh, I just had to pick a number. That's what I picked.
you can
do as much as you want.
You can knit. I wouldn't do less than 4.
Like 4 or 5 is. I mean, you need.
Because otherwise, it really curls up.
Yes, you need a little bit to get hold of. But you just have to put a number in the pattern. So that's what I said.
So Lynn's just happened to come upon the live as she's probably scrolling through YouTube. And she says the pattern looks great, and she's off to buy it and the hat as well. And she's ready to cast on this weekend. So Lynn,
don't forget the token, Lynn. Use the token if you've just joined us.
Yeah, Falmouthfree for the hat and Falmouth without the free.
Yes.
For the cowl. And AJ Kinney, you've just joined from Atlanta, Georgia. I think I missed where to get the pattern and the name of it. It's the Porthallow Cowl, Porthallow cowl. Nicky's just sort of said there is a code on it for Falmouth, and there is a hat which Nicky's wearing, which that has also got a code on it, which you get the pattern for free if you're part of the cowl. So get on and purchase the pattern as quickly as you can if you're after the hat too.
There's a lot of transatlantic people.
Yeah, it's very
exciting.
No, in the US, it's probably anywhere between 5 and 8 hours behind us.
Yeah.
So I think this time of year as well, people have got a little bit more of a relaxed routine. Not that they're not working necessarily, but they have got a more relaxed routine.
Less, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can join into these things. So Fran is gonna go and
I'm going to go and set up the Ravelry group. I'll put in tips and tricks at the top. I'll do a sticky and try and put as many links as I can that I think are useful for the cowl. So some tips on lace, some tips on cabling with and without cable needle, and see some colourwork tips as well, and provisional cast-ons. So I'll put that in, and then there'll be 2 or 3 tabs probably for the cowl itself, one for which will be for finished projects, one for progress, and maybe we'll have a general chat one as well.
So do participate. As I said at the beginning, we will be having a prize at the end, a giveaway, based on how participatory people are. And last time, we had some. I see 2 of the people who have joined this one who won prizes last time, and it was because they were so helpful to others and took part and really sort of got involved, and that's why we selected them as prize winners. We will be doing a prize. ladies, are you free next Friday to
Sure,
do
yeah.
another
Initial.
sort of live event? We'll probably stick with this time for this one. 4 o'clock,
Yep.
okay with you guys?
Yeah, it works well.
Yeah.
So if we do a 4 o'clock next Friday, 4 p.m. British time, London time. Don't worry if you miss it or you can't get there because you've got work or other things on. The lives will go up onto the YouTube channel and you'll be able to watch it back later. Do ask me any questions that you need to ask. If you need any help, contact us. Nikki's here. She's
Yeah.
a designer. She knows that pattern inside out.
I really do. I've knitted a lot of times.
So any questions at all, just let us know. So it's 11:30 in
Yes,
Michigan.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, wow. So happy New Year to you all.
Yes.
In the next
24. It'll be 24 when we're online.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. See you next year. I love saying that to people.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about New Year.
I'm not a big go out and party person.
Oh, definitely not.
No.
Definitely not. No, I find it quite a reflective time. I've always sort of thought.
You're very welcome.
So she's just bought the pattern. Yeah, I find I sort of.
Yeah.
I'm more of a reflective person and a celebration person, and you sort of think, oh, what's next year going to bring, and probably,
Yeah.
Good things, lots of patterns, lots of knitting,
lots of
knitting,
lots of knit-alongs,
lots of beautiful yarn.
Yes.
Look at that.
lots of building this community.
Yes.
That's what it is going to bring. So anyway, thank you for joining us today. Happy New Year to you all. We'll see you next Friday if you're available. If not, it will be uploaded straight afterwards. Any questions, let me know. And if you are on Ravelry and you use Ravelry, look out for the Ravelry group over the weekend and do join in and comment on it. And the hashtag is Stitches and Cream KAL, KAL at the end of Stitches and Cream for Instagram. So do post your progress and how you're doing too. I think that's so. Happy New Year. So everybody's saying, somebody else has bought that cowl and the hat. Ooh. Thank you so much. And watch out for those mittens too.
Yeah.
We'll let you know when they're live. Yeah. Anyway, bye everybody.
Bye. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Bye.
Gosh, we've got people from every